Howdy, howdy. I've been driving around town this morning. Afternoon, actually. I woke up way late today. Way late. Decided to sleep in. Got myself some brekkie. Brekkie at the Bagels and Bruh. Delicious Western sandwich that I won't be getting into until I get inside. I've been trying not to eat while driving. You know, if I'm going to pick up food, I gotta be mindful of the fact that it's not to be eaten on the road. Unless it's like an emergency. If I'm like starving, then sure. But yeah. But on the drive here, I was thinking about this idea. I started from absolutely nothing. I went to a gas station to pick up cigarettes and an energy drink, and just started up a little conversation with the clerk about what song was playing, because I thought it was a specific artist. I thought it was Health, and then he looked over at the music player, and it was Closer by 9 Inch Nails. And this is all small talk stuff that I typically would never engage in, because I always saw it on the outside as being a posturing thing, an unnecessary thing, I guess. But it flowed. It felt natural, like I was actually having a conversation with the guy. It's probably really weird hearing this if you were an extrovert, because it's just a completely different perspective on people. But anyways, from that, I had this idea leaving of, I don't know why my brain instantly goes to taking over events and rewriting them to be like shooter scenarios, or a scenario in which case I would be gravely injured or something like that. I don't know if that makes any sense or if anybody can relate to that, but just simply going over times at a gas station and just thinking about what would happen if some dude came in with a gun. It sounds so stupid saying it aloud. But that's where my brain goes. Just what would have happened if something were to go wrong? And from that, I just thought I guess it always comes down to if I would be a bystander upon just a person who's supposed to back down and stay still for my own safety and for other people's safety, probably. Or am I the guy who gets shot to set an example or something? Or am I the guy who intervenes? Right? There's 3 different trajectories that it goes. And just asking myself, in that situation, which one would I have been ready to be? I guess. And from that conversation I had that was just so fluid, it was just a conversation where I didn't have any fear of oh, this dude doesn't actually care about anything I'm talking to him about, or God, I must sound so stupid right now, or anything that would typically keep me from doing something like that. That little interaction, thinking back on it, leaned me towards, out of those 3 trajectories that I can take in this shooter scenario, I thought primarily as being the intervening character. Or one that refuses to show fear and will back down out of a respect for the fact that this guy has a gun, but not be screaming. No fear, basically. It sounds so stupid. And then, like, having the courage to, or the stupidity, to walk up to the guy and just, like, there would be this mutual understanding just from our eyes, assuming in this scenario that this person, their eyes are exposed. Just looking dead-eyed and having a full understanding that I am without fear. From that, I mean, it's interesting that I felt more inclined to go down that trajectory with this example today, because typically I would probably find myself to be the one who cowers. But where was I going with that? And then that turned into, if I did intervene and probably, harm myself, say that his gun went off and I dropped dead, and like that was this person's first and only kill, and it was just out of fear because maybe they just needed the money and they didn't want to hurt anybody. Maybe their life was so desperate that it was just an act of survival. And the death of me would just be this point in their life that enacts change, not exactly in what they do, but who they are, Like, that is, like, a defining moment. Not because by the nature that it's me, Josiah, but just a life that was taken. And just thinking about how in this scenario I would be just a lesson for somebody else in the end. My entire life led up to this one moment where I died in a gas station. Just for this person to feel guilty about it the rest of their life. And constantly thinking about, like, my face, how I sounded, how I died. All these things, they stick with people, I mean, you can point that example to anything less than murder, obviously. Just like how you talk to a friend and making a joke that maybe they weren't that into, that was maybe at their expense, and just it hurts them a little bit, and you see that, and like, oh my god, I just affected this person, Like, it's that sort of thing. So, am I the lesson or one to learn and carry on? Which isn't, I don't know, it's an interesting thought. It's not probably worth anyone's time dwelling on. Because it's just, like, creating more anxiety about where you'll end up. I thought it was an interesting thought, though. Yeah. That is all. Have a wonderful day.